Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for taking part in today's HaleyMail training webinar. My name is Todd Lewandowski, Marketing Advisor here at Haley Marketing. Couple just quick housekeeping issues. I'm going to keep everybody in listen-only mode just because of the number of people that we have on this call. So if you have any questions that come up throughout this presentation, please use the Questions tab on the GoToMeeting interface, and I'll be sure to try and answer those as best as I can throughout the presentation, or perhaps at the end if I don't get to it during the presentation. So what we're going to do is jump right into the HaleyMail interface, and we use the HaleyMail website is optimized for Firefox. A couple different reasons why we do this. One, it's just a very secure browser, very reliable. There's so many different versions of IE that it's hard to optimize websites for IE right now. Firefox always makes sure that everybody's updated on the most current version. So that's the reason why we use Firefox. So anytime that you're logging into your account, make sure that you're in Firefox. Also want to talk real quickly before we actually get in the interface about what's all included in your email marketing package. Essentially, we've got two newsletters, a client and candidate newsletter. We call those client connections, candidate connections. Anything else is considered an instant mail. All the seasonal, all the top candidates, all the holiday mailings that we do, that's what we refer to as instant mail. So as we're going through this presentation, if you hear me refer to newsletters, I'm just referring to the client and candidate connection. Anything else is really an instant mail. So the first thing that you're going to do every month is make sure that you have an updated database within your account. Wanted to take a quick second just to show you what that should look like. This is just a sample one that I put together. This is the information that we'll need: the contact's email address, the sales rep name, and sales rep email. Now I want to talk about this for a second. The sales rep name is essentially what's going to show up in the from field. So whatever you'd like people to see in the from field in the box, in their inbox, that's what you'll include under sales rep. The sales rep email is the reply to email. And anytime somebody clicks on reply, this is where they'll go to. So it's totally up to you how you want to set this up. If you want to have them all come from one person, if you want to have them come from individual sales reps, completely up to you, but that's just how we differentiate all that information. So what we're going to do to upload your data, you're going to go to lists. One other thing quickly I just want to mention too, make sure that your data list is saved as a .csv file, just another form of an Excel file. It's a comma delimited file, but that's the format that we use to upload. So once you're in your account, you're going to click on Lists in the main navigation, and then click on Upload Contacts in the green navigation. This is going to bring up a page that will ask you to select the file that you have saved. So I'm just going to grab that file that I just showed you here. And I'm just working in the corporate account here kind of as a testing. Next thing it's going to ask us for the file format. We have this set up as the Snelling contacts list. It's that format that I just showed you there with the email, sales rep name, and sales rep email. You'll click Submit, and this will bring you to the next page. And what we're going to do here is we're actually going to assign this data to a list. So the first thing it's asking us to do is select a list. And depending on how many lists you have uploaded to your account, these will all be shown here. Most everybody will have the Snelling client and candidate connection. Those are the two lists that everybody has in there, but you may also set up some other lists. If you wanted to create a new list, you would just select this Create a New List. It would ask you to name the list. This is good, if you're doing a top candidates mailing or some other mailing that you want to have separate from your client and candidate connections. But for this, we're just going to use the Snelling client connection. And then there's two different ways that you can upload data. One, you can upload a master list, which is essentially you just take your master list every month. Throughout the month, you'll make edits to it, and then you'll do a full upload. You can also just upload additions. So if you've just got a list of a few names that you want to add to a list, you can add those. So if you're doing a full replace of the list, you want to make sure that you select that box, replace the list with this data. If you're just doing additions, you just leave that checkbox empty. So we're going to do a full list. And then it also asks you, first row includes field names. If you've got the header row like you see here, email, sales rep email, if that was on your Excel file that you uploaded, just click that and it won't upload that row. Last thing you want to do is just make sure that everything lines up. So user email, the owner name, owner email, owner email. If all that looks good, you just have to simply click the import button and that will go through. Next thing it's going to ask you to do is click here to process duplicates. When we upload a database, we are going to process the duplicates out. So there's two types of duplicates. One could be duplicates within the list that you're uploading. The other thing would be duplicates of what's already in your database compared to the email. So if you're doing a full upload each month, you're probably going to have a lot of duplicates in there. So you just have to click here to process duplicates. And it'll show you, here's the first example, and it'll show you one is coming from the file, which is the list that we're uploading right now, and there's also one that's already in the database with that same email. So it's going to ask you to choose which one you'd like to use. I always suggest using the file because that's obviously the most up-to-date version. Then, so that you don't have to go through each individual duplicate, it's going to ask, use this source for all duplicates. Always make sure you check that because you may have a couple hundred duplicates that need to go through, and you don't want to go through all those one by one. So click that checkbox. Just click Save Selection. And depending on how many duplicates you have, this might take a few minutes to go through, especially if you have a big list. It might just take a while, so just be patient. Once it's done, you'll see that it says All Duplicates Processed. So that's all you have to do to upload the data each month. You want to make sure you do that at least once a month so that you have an up-to-date list in there for all the different mailings that you're going to send out for the month. Next thing I want to show you is how to actually schedule the newsletters. So we're going to click on, up in the main navigation here, we're going to click on HaleyMail. Then in the green navigation, we're going to click on newsletters. Remember I told you there's the newsletters and instant mails. Right now we're just going to look at the newsletters. So this will open up and you'll see the Snelling Candidate Connection newsletter and the Snelling Client Connection newsletter. To schedule the mailings, all you have to do is click this little orange button here, and it's going to open up a couple different buttons. One would be this little magnifying glass here. This will open up the newsletter in a brand new window so that you can actually see the newsletter here and see what it looks like on a full screen. The other buttons are, this little pencil here will allow you to edit the email. And we're going to get into that. I'm going to show you how to do that within the Instant Mail. The next one is Send a Preview. I always tell clients, before you send out a mailing like this, always send yourself a preview. You just have to click this little monitor button, type in your email address, and click Send, and it'll say Queued for Delivery. This will deliver an actual working version of the email to your inbox. So you can do a final test of it, make sure that everything looks good, make sure everything's formatted correctly, test all the links before you actually send out a newsletter. Once you've determined that, yep, everything looks good, I'm ready to schedule it, you just have to click this little calendar icon here. And this will allow you to schedule for any date in the future. So if I wanted to send this out tomorrow morning, I would just click tomorrow's date. And then using these buttons will allow you to select the time. And we do it in 5-minute increments. So if I want to send this out at 10:15 a.m., make sure the date is correct, and then click Approve. And you'll see that it's scheduled to go out on September 14th at 10:15 a.m. If for some reason you schedule it and realize, oh, we need to make a change, and you want to unschedule it, so all you have to do is click the Unschedule button, and it'll change status back to awaiting approval to 3 contacts. So very simple to send out the actual client and candidate connection newsletters. Next thing I want to show you is instant mails. And like I said, these are all of the seasonal, holiday, top candidates, everything other than the client candidate connection. Whenever there's a new email that's ready to go, Stella will usually send everybody an email saying this is uploaded, ready for you to send. So we'll click on, under HaleyMail again, we'll click on Instant Mail. And this will show you all of the newsletter, all the instant mails that are available. You can sort this by just clicking on Create New Instant Mail. That's the first step. And if you click under Snelling Templates, we actually have the client and candidate connections separated out. So if you wanted to send out a past version of the client or candidate connection, you can just click on that and it'll bring up all of those. So we're going to go back to the regular Snelling templates. And we're just going to grab one of these here just for an example here. When you see the one that you want to use, you just have to click Use This. And as you're going through the steps of sending out an instant mail, we're going to follow this left-hand side here. So we're at step 1 right now, where we actually create the instant mail. And this usually just takes a second or two to load up. So the first step, like I said, will be editing. First version you'll see here is the nice HTML version. By HTML, I just mean the nice graphic design version. We have in place here a WYSIWYG editor, which just means what you see is what you get editor. So you don't need to know HTML code to make any edits to this. The default version is this smaller version here, but you can also click on this button here that says Toggle Full Screen Mode. And this will bring it up into a much easier to read version. So if you wanted to go through and change any copy within the newsletter, all you have to do is highlight the text. So say we wanted to change the date to October 6th through the 10th. You just have to type that in there, and it'll save it. A couple other things I want to show you. Basically, the WYSIWYG editor has the same functionality that you would have in Word. Bolding, italics, underline, indenting, bulleting. If you're just typing right in here, you can just type it as you see it. However, if you already have a document that you wanted to copy and paste, so say you were doing a top candidates mailing and you had the descriptions already done and you want to just paste it in there, it's important not to paste from Word. We always want to make sure that we're using Notepad. Notepad will basically strip out all the funky kind of characters that Word uses that don't translate very well into HTML code. So I've just got a sample one here, so I'm just going to copy this from Notepad. And so I can just replace this, just highlight it, and paste. If you wanted to make something, if you wanted to bold it, for example, you can just highlight it, hit bold, italicize it. If you wanted to make this a link, you just have to click this little thing that looks like a chain of a link, or a link of a chain there. It says Insert Edit Link. Just click that button, and you want to make sure that you're always using HTTP:// in front of it. So I can just do, if I wanted this to be google.com. You also want to make sure that you change the target. It's defaulted to open in this new window or frame, but you want to change it to open a new window. When you click on that link, it'll open it up in a new browser, so it won't take you away from where you currently are. Just click Insert, and then you'll see this looks like a normal link that you would see in a newsletter or on a website. So I'm going to get out of this full screen mode here and go back. When we set up emails, they're set up as what's called multi-part MIME. What that means is every email has a text and an HTML version with it. The reason we do that is there are some email servers that are not allowed to accept HTML. So they'll default to the text-only version. The recipient only get one or the other, depending on what they can receive. So we always make sure that we have a text version as well. So it's important, any changes you make up here in the HTML version, you also make in the text version. And we have a fail-safe in place. So once you're done making the edits and you click Save and Continue, it'll pop up a reminder here that you've not made changes to the text version. Press OK to continue without making changes. If you want to make changes, just click Cancel. If you're OK with it, just click OK. So this will take us to step 2, which is selecting the mailing list. So from this drop-down, I can select any of the lists that I've already set up in my account. So for this one, we'll just use Snelling Client Connection. And it also gives you the option to send to the entire list or to mail to selected contacts on the list. So if I select that, it will open up these checkboxes. And if I just wanted this just to go to me, I can select my name. For this training, we're just going to do mail to the entire list. Next, we're going to select who this email should come from. Now, the default would be the contact owner. This will take whoever's assigned within the database. So for all of these contacts we have on this list, Stella is the owner. So if we want them to just come from whoever they're assigned to on the list, we would select contact owner. But you can override that. If you want to say these all come from Penn, you can select his name to override whatever's in the database. But we'll stick with contact owner. Then we'll click on Schedule Mailing. And this is just about the same as scheduling the monthly newsletters. Again, just click on that calendar icon. And same thing, you can just select the date, and select the time that it's going to go out. Click Schedule Instant Mail. This will refresh the page, and it'll bring you back to the Scheduled section so that you can see what is scheduled. From here, again, you can click to show this in a new window so you can see the full version. You see the edit we made there. You can also go back in and edit it, so if you decide you wanted to change it up, or you can delete it completely. So we'll just click Delete, and this will bring us back to the main Instant Mail page. Once we send out any mailings, we always have a report in place for all the mailings that we send out. So this is a really great tool for doing sales rep follow-up. So we're just going to click up on Reports in the main navigation. And then just like all the mailings, we have it separated by newsletter statistics and instant mail statistics. And actually, I'm going to log out of this one account just to show you guys some actual data. And this is just an admin version that we use here internally so we can access all of the clients' databases or all the clients' accounts, so you don't have to really worry about this. But I'm just going to log into one of the branch offices here so I can show you some actual data. Okay, so we're going to go to Reports, like I said, and then we'll click on Newsletter Statistics. And this will bring up all the different mailings that have been sent out. So if we just look from left to right here, we've got the date and time that the mailing was sent out, along with the subject line. Then we've got the number of emails sent. This is essentially all of the emails that were in the database at that time. Then it's broken down to bad and bounced. The difference here is bad means that it wasn't a valid email address within the database. So you may have had somebody's website address in there, or the .com may have been missing. Just something wasn't allowing it to recognize it as this is a valid format for an email address. Then you've got bounces. Bounces is a little bit different. Bounces means it was a good email address, but it couldn't get to its intended recipient. And there are literally hundreds of different reasons why this could happen. Most common are usually if the person's inbox is full, if their server was down, if there's something blocking you from getting through to that organization. Another common one is if somebody's left an organization. Their email address is still viewed as a good email address, but if they didn't set up a forwarding email, that's going to kind of bounce around in limbo, and it's going to get bounced back to you. What I usually tell clients to do is just click on that number once in a while, every couple months, just take a look at the list. If you are seeing multiple people from the same organization, that's usually a good sign that somebody has, that you're getting blocked from getting to that organization. In that case, what you can do, if you have a good relationship with somebody at that organization, just contact them and just say, we've been trying to send out our monthly newsletter, and we see that they're all getting bounced back from your organization. Can you have somebody in your IT department make sure that we are whitelisted? And 9 times out of 10, they'll usually get the job done. Their IT people can usually kind of diagnose why your emails might be bouncing back. So the next column we have here is good. These are the ones that were delivered to their intended recipients. Next two columns are view and view percentage. We talked earlier about HTML versus text version. So this view number isn't always 100% correct. The reason being that we can only track an HTML email. We don't have the ability to track text versions. So when somebody opens up an HTML version of your newsletter and turns on their images, it sends a little message back to us saying this person has opened it up, and it's tracked in the view report. Unfortunately, we can't track the text, so if you have people on your list that are receiving the text-only version, they wouldn't track here. So this number may be higher in reality. So when we look at this list, we've got the date that they opened it, their email, their name, and the owner or the sales rep of that contact. The nice thing about this is that we've got these buttons up here, PDF, Excel, Comment Delimited. You can export these detailed lists. I usually suggest Comment Delimited or Excel because then you can sort by the owner name. That's really good for doing follow-up because you can send this out to your sales rep saying, hey, here's the people on your list who have opened up the newsletter. These are good people to contact. You might give them a call and say, hey, did you happen to see our newsletter on improving productivity this month? Oh, you know what, I did. In fact, we shared it with our team, and we thought it was really good. Just a good way to get a dialogue started with people. You don't want to tell them that, oh, I noticed that you opened up our email, or I noticed that you clicked on the links because they think you're watching your email, even though technically you are. But again, it's just a good way to get a nice dialogue started. So we're going to go back to newsletter statistics, and I'm going to show you the last two columns, at clicks and click-through. If there are any live links within your newsletter, anytime somebody clicks on them, they will show up on this click report. So whether it's a link back to your home page, an archive page, link to a blog post, an article, anything that's a live link, anytime somebody clicks on that, that will show up on this report. And it's the same report as the views. It'll just show you the detailed link that somebody clicked on. So a couple other things that I wanted to touch on here, just kind of best practices. One of the questions we get a lot is, what are the best number of emails to send out every month? And there really isn't a good answer to this. What I tell clients to do is, if you're starting to increase the number of mailings that you're sending out every month, check to see if you're also getting a higher number of opt-outs. So that means people don't want that many emails per month. You know, we have some clients who send out one a month, some clients who send out one a week. Really, it's whatever your list is comfortable with receiving. So just keep an eye on your opt-outs if you're starting to send out more mailings per month. And speaking of opt-outs, there's two ways that people can opt out. One, we always include a remove link at the bottom of every newsletter. It's by law. We have to have that in there. So people will click on that. When they click on it and go through the process, you'll receive a notification from HaleyMail that says so-and-so has opted out of your newsletter. Those people will be flagged in the system. So even if you try and upload them next month, they won't receive a mailing because they've been flagged in the system. However, if somebody just replies to the email and says, please take me off your list, a couple things. You want to make sure that you do take them off internally so that you don't re-upload them again. But also scroll down and see if in the reply their original remove link is in there. You can just click that for them, and that will opt them out. You can also go into your actual account here, and if you go to Lists and Manage Contacts, you can simply just type in the information here, and I'm just going to grab a quick list here. So if I wanted to opt this person out, I could just click on their email address, go to Account, and then under Global Opt-out, I would just select Requested Removal, and that will opt them out of any list that they're on. Other common question I get is, when is the best time to send? And again, there really isn't a great answer to this. What will usually happen is people will send out a report saying Tuesday at 10 a.m. is the best time to send. Then everybody starts sending Tuesday at 10 a.m. So that turns into the worst time to send. There really isn't a best time to send. I have some clients who actually send over the weekends. With how connected we are to emails nowadays through mobile devices, people are checking email constantly. So the weekends are not a bad time to send anymore. The only thing I always advise people to do is just to make sure that you don't send on a major holiday. But other than that, feel free to send at any time. You may see, with your list, you may see a better response rate on the weekends. Another office may see a better response rate on Tuesdays. It's going to vary so much that there really isn't a great answer to that question. All right, that just about does it for everything that I wanted to cover here. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to use that question tab on your interface, and I will do my best to answer those. We had a question come in about, is there a full screen mode in the text version of, in the text section of editing? No, there isn't. Unfortunately, right now there isn't. The best way to do that, again, is to copy from Notepad and paste into the text version. Just wanted to also let everybody know, too, that we are recording this training, so give us about a week or so, and we're going to have that link available. So if there's anything that you wanted to go back and review, or if you wanted to send it to your employees in your office, send them to the training video, we should have that ready to go in just about a week. One other item before we go to, as you're going through this, if you run into any issues, any technical problems, something looks like it's not working properly, there's any bugs or anything, we're asking that you send an email to marketing@snelling.com. Stella, on the other end, will kind of do triage there. She's really good at diagnosing a lot of problems, can help you with that. And if it's anything that's outside of her expertise, she can elevate it to me. All right. Well, we will conclude things there. Again, if anybody has any questions, please let me know. And we should have the recording up in about a week. So I want to thank everybody for taking part, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks.